Let's talk about the doctrine of the Nicolaitans. Nicolaitan is a transliterated word. Therefore, there is no English equivalent. We must look back at the original language and translate its meaning into English to understand what it expresses. Nicolaitan is a combination of two words, victory and people. By compounding these two words, they communicate a victory over the people. Therefore, it is a person who holds a position of authority over the congregation. The concept of the Nicolaitan doctrine comes from the Jews in the priestly structure under the law. From the very beginning of the church, it is a false doctrine that continually attempts to creep into the local assemblies. The Apostle John writes of this doctrine while addressing the first of the 7 assemblies in the book of Revelation. Those in Ephesus were indifferent to the Nicolaitan doctrines, even though some attempted to impose it. But this you have, that you are indifferent to the works of the Nicolaitans, which I also am indifferent to. Revelation chapter 2 and verse 3. In Christ, the distinctions of sex, class, and race have no value. Instead, it is the new creation. Galatians chapter 6 and verse 15. For in Christ Jesus neither circumcision nor uncircumcision is what has strength, but the new creation. This new creation is the body of the Christ, in which Christ is the head and the church is his body. 2 Corinthians chapter 5 and verse 17, wherefore since someone is in Christ a new creation, archaic things have passed away, behold, all things have become new. Ephesians chapter 1 verses 22 through 23. And he put all things under his feet and gave him to be head over all things to the church, which is his body, the fullness of him who fills all in all. Within the body of the Christ, there is no separation based upon any of these statuses, for we are all part of one body. 1 Corinthians chapter 12 and verse 13. For by one Spirit we were all immersed into one body, whether Jew or Greek, whether slave or free, and have been made to drink into one Spirit. The doctrine of the Nicolaitans is distinct from the Mosaic Law, which implements a priesthood and specific classes of people. However, in the local assembly of the church, the pastors and other leaders are not separated from the congregation. In its full form, the doctrine of the Nicolaitans is found in Catholicism and her daughters. In a more subtle form, it is found within elder-ruled assemblies and those who merchandise the saints. But I have a few things against you, because you have there those grasping hold of the doctrine of Balaam, who taught to Balak to cast a scandal before the sons of Israel, eating things offered to idols and fornicating. Thus, likewise, you also have those grasping hold of the doctrine of the Nicolaitans. Revelation chapter 2, verses 14 through 15. The Nicolaitans' doctrine is in direct contrast to the doctrine of the Christ. Any assembly with a board separated from the people and not fully liable to the congregation partakes in this type of false doctrine. The position of a pastor is not as the head of the church, for that spot solely belongs to Christ, Ephesians chapter 1 and verse 22. Instead, he is an overseer of healthy doctrine, so that the assembly comes to a oneness of the faith unto maturity in Christ, 1 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 1. This is a faithful saying. If someone desires the position of a bishop, he desires a good work. He has no authority to lord over the assembly. 1 Peter chapter 5 verses 1 through 3. The elders who are among you I exhort, I, who am a fellow elder and a witness of the suffering of Christ, and also a partaker of the glory that will be revealed. Shepherd the flock of God which is among you, serving as overseers, not by compulsion but willingly, not for dishonest gain, but eagerly. Nor is being lords over those entrusted to you, but being examples to the flock. A scriptural assembly structure is managed by deacons appointed by and answering to the congregation, with a pastor serving as an overseer in doctrinal matters. Acts chapter 6, verses 3 through 4.